and welcome back to Cooking by the Book with BCPL. Today I'm featuring an unlikely cookbook author. It is Sammy Hagar. You probably know him more for his music, but apparently he's quite the foodie too. He's even best friends with Emeril Lagasse and they share a birthday every year. And I really like the way he formatted this book. It's sort of half memoir, half cookbook, definitely a lot of cocktail recipes as well. And he splits it up into 3 areas where he spends most of his time. The first one goes into Mexico where he started his restaurants, and that's a lot of fun, fresh foods. Then he goes to where he lives in California, and that's more of the farm to table style. A lot of a little fancier, more harder to do recipes as well too that will impress everybody. And then the last section, which is where I chose my recipe, is for his house in Maui. And so that's more of like the tropical, laid back, kind of kicking around with friends kind of vibe and cooking. And the recipe I'm doing it's very easy to do and my kids loved it. It's a spaghetti with black olives and orange zest. It's just, I was kind of looking for something. I wanted comfort food, I wanted spaghetti, but I wanted something a little bit different. And this is something that's great when you're in those winter doldrums, but it's also really good year round. So to get started, I'm gonna boil my water, a salted pot of water for the pasta. And he has this listed as step 3, but it takes a long time. So and it comes together so quickly, I'm just gonna do it now. And then I'm gonna drain my black olives. You wanna get pitted black olives. Do not get the ones in a can and get pitted, it'll save you a lot of time. And I'm gonna wash the orange because we're using the zest and they usually have this kind of waxy residue. So I like to wash that off and dry it with a paper towel and that usually gets it all off. Okay, and I already pre-chopped an onion because you guys don't need to see me cry on camera. And then now we're gonna do 3 cloves of garlic and just a quick dice. It doesn't have to be perfect. He definitely stresses it's how it tastes more than how it looks in his recipe. The rock and roll vibe, I guess you have going there. Okay, now that you have your 3 peeled garlics, I usually work down towards the root and you wanna go kind of straight, but you kind of arc down so you get it to that root. And then I do a couple vertical dices throughout. And then when you chop it, it's all pretty uniform in size. Makes it a lot easier to work with than if you just chaotically go after it. And now we zest our orange. And you can use one of those little microplane, like cheese graters to do this. I've even seen somebody who's like one for working with wood is apparently an affordable way to get one. This is just a traditional zester. It always takes me a second to line up because like everything else, it's made for right-handers and I am left-handed. And when you zest it, you just want to get the outside, the super bright orange part, because the white part is pretty bitter. And when it comes to selecting your orange, you want to get the biggest, brightest, most beautiful one because you're only using the zest, and since there's so few ingredients in this, you really want to make sure that they're all excellent. And really, the price difference when it goes to 4 servings, I mean, you're going to pay at most $1.50 more for the best orange. And you're only using the zest for this, so feel free to juice the orange for a cocktail or just orange juice, or just eat it as is, cut it up and munch. Okay, we're almost set to get started. We have a little bit more prep work, but first, because it's gonna go so quickly, I'm just gonna turn on my skillet now. And light that so it can start heating up. And before I chop my olives, I'm just gonna do the basil, even though that doesn't come on until the end as a garnish because I'm lazy and this is the best way. You can use the cutting board before it gets all gross from the olives. So about a 1/4 cup of fresh basil. And now we're gonna chop our olives up. And learn from my mistakes. Don't try to dump them all out and do them at once. Our olives will roll everywhere. And the recipe calls for about a cup, and I believe the jar I got was a little bit more. So I'll usually set aside a couple to snack on or disappear by my kids. And I hear my skillet heating up now, so let me give my hands another quick rinse, and that is it for prep work. Everything else is just throwing it together and making your recipe. So I'll be right back. Okay, and now our skillet's heated up. I put about 1/4 cup of olive oil in there, and you put it on like medium-low heat. Then I'm gonna add my onions. Okay, maybe that's a little higher, medium-high. Still works. And you cook the onions for about 5 to 6 minutes until they become translucent, kind of let go of all their flavor in that oil. Okay, and now that the onions are a little bit translucent, they did get a little brown, but that's okay. The flavor's still good. I didn't burn them. I am going to add the garlic, and Sammy says to cook that for just under a minute. And since my water is boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the pasta. And you're supposed to cook this according to package directions. And the first time I made this, I made the whole package of pasta because I'm so used to recipes calling for a pound of pasta. It still turned out delicious. We still ate all of it and it was enough flavor for sure, but the recipe does call for a half package. So you can adjust accordingly. Now you add the olives. And the orange zest. And now your kitchen starts to smell good. Okay. And once everything's mixed, then you just turn off your stovetop until the pasta's ready. Okay, told you that would come together really quickly. Now our pasta's ready. This is a perfect weeknight meal. And Sammy suggests reserving about 1 cup of the pasta water, so I'm just gonna scoop some out now. And it kind of helps thicken and bind together everything and sort of make its own pasta sauce. What I'm also gonna do is, instead of draining the pasta, I'm just gonna take it with tongs and put it right into my skillet to cook with the sauce. And that way you do get a little bit of the pasta water. And I reserve some, so if I need more, I can take more if I need it. Turn your skillet back on, about medium heat again, and this way you just kind of mix everything together to let the flavors merge in there. Yum. Then at this point, Sammy Hagar also calls for Parmesan cheese. I don't do dairy, so I did I sort of make my own like cashew crumble cheese. Otherwise, just use Parmesan, about 1/4 cup to mix in. Okay, and that's it. Now we're ready to plate. So now that the spaghetti's done and plated, I sprinkled on a little more Parmesan and some fresh basil just to give it a little more color and yum. And there you have it, the perfect relief for regular boring spaghetti. Courtesy of Sammy Hagar's new cookbook, Are We Having Any Fun Yet? So thank you for joining me. Until next time, keep cooking by the book with BCPL.